I've been wanting to do this review for a while. It's not really a review, it's a feedback. This is called Fungies Reishi mushrooms daily gummies, which I got at CVS as part of a social nature cash back for trying in exchange for a 140 character review. So I decided to take these. All right, there was like different options. They look like this, very cute, right? They smell good. This one's flavored candy apple. So I started to take this. It's for supports immune function, relaxation, and healthy aging. Delicious apple, naturally flavored, 60 pectin gummies, dietary supplement. Zen-like relaxation, it says. Reishi, an adaptogen, is a natural way to support relaxation and calmness. I have an asterisk there. Where does the asterisk go to? Usually they put it, I don't see a reason. I see a cross sign, but not an asterisk. Asterisks usually indicate that there's a subscript to go look at the bottom of the page to see. Healthy aging and immune function. Reishi is traditionally known as the mushroom of immortality. Everyday stress relief support. Reishi helps support a healthy response to everyday stress. Then it says keep out of children's reach. And do not exceed the dosage. And other medical things if you're pregnant and stuff of that nature. So, and it has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, which is the FDA. Okay, so I had given my review of this on Social Nature, because and the review was positive, I would say, because I was taking them one every day at night before bed for about a month. Well, one day I decided to take it, I think it was at 2 in the afternoon before going out. And about an hour or so later, something started happening to my brain. And I wasn't sure. I was going through everything I had ingested that day, thought of, smelt, and done. Even my hormones I reviewed. And I would, I would say that an hour or so later, maybe an hour and a half tops, my memory started to fail me. And it was the most bizarre thing I had ever experienced unconsciously. Like, I didn't deliberately take this to alter my sense of memory, and my memory short-term started slipping. My sense of anxiety started to rise. So it produced the opposite effect of relaxation, because I couldn't remember, first of all, what was going on with me and what I had taken. I started reciting. I traveled back from Birch Coffee after delivering some books, and my orientation seemed fine, but because I couldn't remember short term certain things, now it's been about 2 months since that happened, my focus was off as well because of this reishi mushroom, most likely. I came home and at the end of the day, I called up my friend who's now deceased. And she was going over with me. I was babbling. Before then I was going through the park on my way home. I was able to get a seat, and I was reciting Shakespeare and trying to remember as clearly as possible the lines, because I have a number of monologues in my head. And so I was going over To Be or Not to Be. I was going over the Juliet speech. I was going over the Othello monologue. I was going over maybe the Quality of Mercy monologue. And those seemed to be okay up to a certain extent. So I could get through maybe a minute and a half. But some of these are like 3 minutes long. But it was the short term. And I started, also my sense of inhibitions were inhibited, I would say, because I started just babbling. I mean, my content is pretty spot on, but the over concern I had. I'm going to show you a clip now of what happened. of what it was when I was under the influence of this, but before I was completely freaked out. Here's an example of a disgusting habit of a human being that is so entitled with a dog, that they're so entitled that they actually have a dog, and then they expect another human being to take this down off the fence. Yeah. You know what? They should be strung up on the fence with their limbs in a plastic bag. So ridiculous. The people, those people with the dogs, poor dog, first of all, because who knows how else the person might treat the dog. But the person and the dog, I wish I could keep the dog out of this, but should be banned from Central Park. The dog has to suffer too because of the stupid owner. Okay, so by the time I got home and I spoke with my friend who was trying to talk me out of this insane state of being, I was like, I know what I did. I took the reishi mushrooms, fungies. And after I had figured out that perhaps that was the culprit, I began to slowly calm down. But I was still under the influence and still babbling. So it had the opposite effect on me. Okay, relaxation, and who knows about healthy aging, but I was not relaxed at all. Okay, I was freaked out that I was, for at least, the process was at least 8 hours long of my memory slipping. Now, I have to say, I have done psilocybin, and I was prepared for that, and it did not have that effect. I had prepared for that. Okay, so if you go to have this, be prepared. Then I wanted to test if indeed this is the culprit of the experience. So about a month later, I took one more. I'm just taking one at about 7 p.m. the night before. And I would say about 3 hours later, I was like tired. And so forget the focus, right? When you're tired and relaxation, there's no more focus, right? Because it says, what does it say? It says, Zen-like relaxation. What this was not Zen-like at all. All right. So then, so I went to bed, and then the next day I got up and I felt like okay, I guess. But I started feeling the effects when I went to help a friend, and the friend was telling me things, and I said, you know what? And this was about, okay, so I took it at 7 p.m. This was about 5 p.m. the next day. So that was more than 12 hours later. That may have been maybe 18 hours later, right? Let's just say 18 hours later. I was still feeling the effects. I said, I'm sorry, I can't focus completely on what you're saying because I have a feeling I'm still under the influence of this reishi mushroom gummy. That is not fun, okay, at all. When you have a perfectly operating brain and you rely on your brain and you want to have clear thinking at all times, and complete sovereignty, don't you like that word? Sovereignty about your whole state of being, do not take this. This is not fun. Unless you want that kind of altered sense of reality, and I would say stay home and have nowhere to go the next day either. So this is like a 2-day experience with a slight altered sense of reality and mind abilities. A decreased capacity of your mind abilities, okay? FYI. And I'm going to FYI them because this is over the counter at CVS. You can get it right off the shelf, all right? And there's no warning on here. Like, for some people, it might cause an altered state of perception and sensibility with memory, gaps in memory and ability to focus. Yeah. Thanks, Fungies. Okay. This time, I'm not on the CVS drugstore, over the counter, not even a drug, Fungies gummies. And I'm going to say the same thing. Look at this. These people with their dogs. Look, they can't take it out of here. Look at this. They have you know, so many pathways out of here. That's a snowbell tree. This is a mulberry tree. Mulberry, you can tell by the orange bark. The Osage orange also has bark like this. But look at this. All the pathways out. And they gotta put their entitled asses, their dog and their entitled asses. They gotta put their... Think of all the kosher words for poop. Excrement. That sounds more vile, right? Feces sounds more vile. What else? There's poop. You know, it sounds the best. Oh, right. Here's another one. A bowel movement. Shit's the best, though, right?